Welcome to this new course section. In this section, we will have a look at the powerful sample editor here in Cubase. But more precisely, in this lecture, we are going to talk about the musical mode. So I have a sample here that you can download from these lecture resources, and I'm going to import it into our song like this. As usual, we have to normalize the sample to the current project settings. So I say OK, and we can notice that the sample exceeds the length of our bar groove here. Meaning that if I solo the kick and the sample, we can clearly notice the problem. Let's listen. So, if I double-click over the sample, we can access the sample editor. Now, we need to define the length of the loop here in the lower zone. From the tool line, we can define the number of bars and bit for this loop. So, if we listen to the sample in cycle and if we count the beats, okay, we can say we have 4 beats, meaning 1 bar. Because if the time signature is 4/4, as in our case here, if we say 1 bar, it's the same to say 4 beats. Okay? And we can set those values here. Now, Cubase is able to extract the BPM information for this loop. And if we now activate the musical mode from this button here, we can see that the sample will adapt automatically to the tempo song. There we go. Now, on the sample, we can notice 2 new icons. The first one indicates that the sample has the musical mode activated, and the second one that the sample is stretched. If you pay attention, we can already find these 2 icons on other samples we have already imported. For example, this one that we have imported from the Media Bay, because the Media Bay has automatically adapted the sample length to the song BPM. Because in the sample itself, all the info about bars and beats were already included within its metadata. But if you don't have that info saved within the sample, you can manually set them, as we have just seen. So you have to count bars and beats and activate the musical mode. And if we now listen to the sample, cool, the sample is now in sync with our song tempo. Now we can delete the sample, as I use it just to explain this musical mode here in Cubase. But I will not use it into the song, so it's now time to move on to the next lecture. See ya there!